As the violence in Ukraine escalates, children may see and hear things about the crisis, leading to feelings of uncertainty and fear. And psychologists say parents and caregivers need to help children navigate those feelings. I spoke today with University of Phoenix mental health counselor Dr. Wendy Whinnery to get her advice on how to approach the conversation with children. Dr. Whinnery, first off, for parents who are trying to understand how to explain the situation in Ukraine with their children, what do they need to do?
It's such a stressful time right now because we just started finding some sense of normalcy with everything related to the pandemic. And now we're watching something really frightening unfold in front of us. And with the 24-hour news stations, they're seeing more and more of what's going on, and it's leading to anxiety. Kids are hearing their peers talk about it in school. They're hearing their parents talk about it at home. And because of that, it's not uncommon for them to feel frightened, thinking that this is the end of the world, because in some cases they're hearing that from people.
So then what do parents need to do to help with that?
One of the most important things that parents can do for kids right now is to maintain that sense of normalcy, keep the regular routine, have the family dinners, maintain the regular bedtime, take the kids to ball practice, to dance class, to keep things as normal as possible. It's also helpful for parents to monitor any change of behaviors. For example, how are they sleeping? Are they eating normally? How are they interacting with their friends, their peers, their classmates? How are they doing in school? Are they still maintaining their grades? It's important just to keep an eye on how they're doing.
And if parents do notice that something is off with their child, then what?
If they notice that something's off, the best thing to do would be to sit down with them and talk to them, using some clarifying questions. What is happening right now, whether it's with Ukraine or just in general, what's happening right now that you find the most troubling? And getting some answers from them. This is where parents would want to incorporate that active listening, really listening to understand. It's important right now for the children to feel heard and understood and not to discount their feelings. So, if they're saying, I feel like this is the end of the world, not to view that as irrational, but to have some empathy and try to understand where they're coming from.
I also want to clarify that we don't want to completely shelter children from bad news, correct? They still need to at least know what's happening.
Absolutely, because no matter where you go, they're going to hear it somewhere, whether it's in the classroom, if you have the TV on and they just happen to walk by and they hear some of it. I mean, you can't avoid having kids hear about it. And so the best source of information is the parents always.
Any other suggestions you have, Dr. Whinnery?
Just to be there for the kids, answer their questions. If you don't know the answer, that's okay. You don't have to know the answer, but just to reassure them, you're going to do everything you possibly can to keep them safe. If I don't know the answer, we'll find it together.
We'll find it together. All right, Dr. Whinnery, we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. Thank you.